Welcome to another edition of Your Impact Attack. That's right, it's Your Impact Attack. The VBC is back at it again on a Monday night. Does it feel good to be alive on the Impact Attack on a Monday night? As a
Whoop,
certain
whoop.
world heavyweight champion might say. So who's the VBC anyway? Well, I guess I would be the V in that VBC. Hi, I'm the vet, Jamie Williams. With me as always, tag team partner Brandon. With the magic of the internet, we make the hot tag, and Brandon comes in and cleans house. The B. What's up, Brandon?
Not a whole lot. Just got done watching a bit of Raw. About to talk some Impact. Had a pretty weekend. Had a pretty good day. How was your day? Whoop, whoop.
Oh, it was a pretty normal day, off day, a little bit of naps, a little bit of Twitch streaming, the usual. And some of these people in the C were here to see some of that earlier. The chat is here. Who do we have with us right now, Brandon?
Let's see who we got. We got Liz. We got Chris Winland. We got Lab Rat. We got Javi Uchiha. We got Steve Eggert. What's up, y'all? Whoop, whoop.
Ooh, that's is that 5? Is that 4?
Yep. Yeah. That's 5.
That's 5. All right. 4 horse people and a JJ. That's what we like to call the fiver here. Well, it's good to see everybody. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending, I don't really have a whole not a whole lot of news in general, like general basic news. There's some stuff about, just stupid stuff like Nick Hogan teases possible ring career or something, like, yeah, that, first of all, no. Second of all, no. But, so I didn't feel like, really including that or doing any research. So really not much. It's kind of all about, Full Gear Weekend and, anything that came out of that seems to be like the only real news, but that's not really news. That's just results. So, not really much that we haven't talked about lately. Have you seen anything, Brandon, come across your desk that you think is newsworthy?
Nah, kind of a slow week. Really a slow week.
Yeah, it's a little bit slow. And now we're in this Impact limbo zone where, just a regular episode, not now following up. Well, I don't know. Maybe it is following up. It is following up. What was that pay-per-view called?
Turning Point.
Turning Point. And we're talking about Final Resolution coming up, even on this episode. So, like, we've got some things to talk about there. But other than that, I don't really see much newsworthy, unless you guys have anything. If you guys in the chat have anything that that you just need to have our expert take on, then please type that in and we will address it. It could be anything. It doesn't even have to be wrestling, I guess. Just whatever. Just something. This show could be 25 minutes. So, anyways, what we do have right now is a Chris Winland question. It's an interesting question. I appreciate Chris Winland and his questions. His question is, if you had the $5,500 US for front row at a wrestling event, would you just sit there like a dumbass, or would you make a spectacle of the situation no matter how shitty it is? Do you still see live shows? He goes on to say, I see the crowd who drops the money just sit there and stare. How can anyone justify spending so much to not have any fun, even if it says wait, he revised that question. I see the people on the hard cam and just sitting there staring. How can anyone justify spending money to not have fun at all, nor pretend to, just as much as the people they are paying to see live? I don't go to concerts to stare at the floor or my phone. Well, that's true. Um, yeah. All right. Let's take that one piece at a time. Number one, would you sit there like a dumbass or would you make a spectacle of the situation? Me personally, I whenever I go to live events, I generally sit there like a dumbass. So I can't really say. I also wouldn't buy a front row ticket. So I guess if he's asking if I was there, that would probably mean in a situation that I didn't, it wasn't of my own making, you know? Like someone offered me a ticket or I won a free ticket or a radio contest or something. Whatever those things that I would be there. It wouldn't be me going to make the purchase for a front row ticket to spend that money. So in that case, if I sat there like a dumbass, I feel like I could be pretty justified. That doesn't mean I'm going to sit there and be on my phone or anything. But I just generally, if you guys have noticed, I've been accused of, not having that many facial expressions sometimes, or being the Lance Storm of the, you know, podcasting community. So that's my answer for that one. What about you, Brandon? Would you hype it up? I feel like you might hype it up. Would you hype it up?
It would depend. It would really depend. Like a lot of factors go into it. Like if it's a shit show, I'd probably get hyper and vocal, but kind of the other way. Like I'd start ribbing on it and joking on it.
Well, I mean, like for example, let's say you had a front row seat to Raw. Jey Uso comes out. I don't see you sitting there not eating. You're gonna eat, right? That's just a given.
Possibly. That's actually kind of a good question. I don't know.
I think you would. I think I'm right. In that instance, I might eat. Like if I was the only person, like if the entire row is eating or whatever, then yeah, I might just all right. Well, we're doing this, but
Yeah,
in general, like I'm not gonna like cheer at the top of my lungs if you know, I don't know, Lyra Valkyria gets a pin or something. Like I'm not gonna do that. Labrat's gonna eat.
Yeet.
Yeah. Isn't Labrat going to Survivor Series? I forgot if you said you're actually going or not, Labrat.
I think he is. Yep.
Yeah. So definitely gonna be some yeeting there. Uh yeah. Um yeah, the other question is how can anyone justify spending money to not have fun at all, nor pretend to just as much as people they're paying to see? Yeah, I don't know. A lot of those people are just some of those people are just like they're plants there or, just whatever. It's like a thing to do. I guess. I don't know. I don't know the situation of the people that you're looking at.
I would have my best guess would be it's like a status symbol. Like, hey, I'm able to afford to go sit front row for John Cena's last match.
Yeah. And then maybe like most of it. If you're there for one reason, then the 90% of the show, if you're seeing them on the hard cam, they might just be sitting there because they're not cared because they're only there for the one reason, maybe one person, and then when that person comes out, maybe you conveniently don't notice that they get excited for that or something. I don't know. But I think the spirit of the question is just it, you know, does your level of financial involvement dictate your level of enthusiasm? And that question is different for everybody. I mean, I just asked Braden if he would yeet at the show, and he's not sure. I believe he would, but I'm not going to argue with him. So that just goes to show you, just everybody's different and could have different moods or whatever. So yeah. Um, Similarly, concerts, like I don't always You know, I've been at concerts where like they'll play a song and I'll like sing the song. You know, because you're there and everybody's singing the song. So like, there's that. A lot of times I just want to sit down and relax or whatever. It depends. It all kind of just depends. Um,
Undergarments.
they they might be well, TNA really shit themselves this week, so that's why we're dragging this out. So yeah, but like if you now if you're front row for a concert, you know, and then they're just looking at you, you know, like are you just gonna sit there looking back? You know, it depends. You might want to get into it more if you're right there. So I don't know. Interesting question. I like to see your guys' answers too. You know, um, Liz says she's not a spectacle girl. She's not gonna do. Steve says he's legally blind, but he still buys front row tickets. Um, and there you go. So yeah. Yeah, and okay, so here's another follow up. I have kids, so that brings out the eat no matter what we watch in person, but for that type of cash, I'd be making sure I do more than wear a green smiley face shirt. Yeah, you see, now that guy, like, at this point, it's got to be so jaded sitting in the front row. No pun intended, because he has a green shirt. But he's got to be so, you know, like he's seen everything and he's been there. Being in the front row is no big deal for him. Like he's almost feeling like he's a celebrity. Like yeah, people turn on to see me in my green shirt and my little hat.
He probably thinks he's like Sign Guy Dudley or Sign Guy or something.
Yeah, yeah. Or there is that one that guy that is the sign guy. You know the one with like the backwards red hat and the mechanic shirt. Yeah, like these marks think they're really part of the show, and I guess they are. You know, you manifested it. Good job. So I don't know. I mean, he'll be in. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that he'll be in Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania or the Royal Rumble, but then I was thinking, wait, has he already been there? I can't remember. He might have
I'm
been there
pretty
for
sure.
like DX's final match, or those type of things.
I'm pretty sure he. I'm pretty sure he was there. Like I remember seeing him in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, yeah, I thought so too. So Dan Heffron, dancing Dan Heffron here, said when I went to NXT in February, I cheered and clapped and made noise, but I couldn't bring myself to chant, "This is awesome." I guess that was my line. Yeah. I mean, had you seen something awesome, maybe you would have felt differently, but because it was NXT, you probably hadn't seen, especially if it was this February. So I'm sure nothing happened awesome this February at an NXT show. So yeah, that's good stuff. Um, but I don't know what else we can, know how else we can answer that. But that was a good interactive question that we all got a chance to just give our thoughts and our feelings on. We didn't just sit here in the front row and do nothing with that question. So, anything else that you guys got? Anything at all? Anything you guys want to bring up real quick? Or, no pressure. You don't have to. We could just knock this out. What's up, Brand?
Well, I will have to. What Chris said right here. Yes, please savor everything that you have until next week, or save everything you have till next week because we ain't gonna have an impact. Last I checked, there is no impact. It's probably gonna be a Thanksgiving clip show like we had last year.
Oh my God. Why didn't they just tape more stuff?
They only taped for the December, like was it December 5th? Yeah, December 4th.
What?
Yeah, the one we saw in the December 4th is what they taped over the next night after Turning Point.
Wow. Well, if I'm AMC, like my bid just went down. Wait, how much were we talking? Hold on, I want to give you less than that. Charles the Hammer Evans in the house. The great Charles the Hammer. It's like a boss. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess we have no choice. I guess we have to just talk about this episode of Impact. I don't think we can put it off any longer, which wasn't very long at all. We've just gone over 15 minutes. We could do this.
Make it like what was it? Gunther and Carmelo Hayes going through 2 commercial breaks.
Is that what it was? Oh, Steve has a question. Thank you. I have a question. Why does Samoa Joe's music sound like Donkey Kong's theme? I don't know, Steve. It just does. I really don't have the answer for that, but I think it was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, we have a correction. Yeah, correction. Thank you, Liz. Whoop, whoop.
Who won?
Gunther.
Oh, interesting. I was told by like at least Zane Vicious that Carmelo Hayes was going to win and retire John Cena, but just wondered. Yeah, just curious. I thought you might know. No, I sure don't. So let's start with JCW had a sweet Skeletor on the show.
Yeah, Suicide came out and he actually had like an 80s Skeletor outfit.
Suicide? Is that a TNA gimmick that now is other places?
Yep, apparently somebody else bought the rights to it. Like the copyright expired and somebody's picked it up, is now wrestling under it.
Wow. I'm behind.
I think
the last couple.
And I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's Caleb Conley.
Oh yeah, you're gonna want to cover him up. Definitely. All right. If I just keep trying to start the show, people will keep, But we do have a big catch-up packet to start because, we got to talk about Turning Point and, the last Impact. So that's one of those. Is that what they look like now? See-through, so it's ketchup.
No, it's one of those ones where it's either a peel or a squeeze. Like if you want to peel it for like dipping, you can do that, or if you want to squeeze it on something, you can do that too.
Wow, what a time to be alive!
Now
put that on your moon pie.
Now, if only we did get some Whataburger spicy ketchup with that'd be sweet.
Yeah, do they sell? They probably sell that in some stores, don't they?
I would hope so. They're leaving money on the table, not doing it.
Yeah. All right, so Mike Santana's going to come out after the catch-up packet. He's going to take a chair. He's going to sit down in the ring. He's going to talk about how he achieved a dream, and he made it 1,000 days sober at the same time. And then he lost everything. Well, not everything. You just lost the belt. I mean, you still have your sobriety and your kid and like all your friends and stuff. But anyway, he made it. He said he lost everything. So he had to go to a meeting before Turning Point. Oh, Charles says they do have it. But, was it Whataburger from Texas, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
So that makes sense. Whataburger over strong. All right. So Mike Santana had to catch a meeting before before Turning Point, and you know, I guess they told him at the meeting, like he said he got some good perspective at the meeting. I think what they probably just told him was, "Don't you have a match tonight?" That's what I would have told him. Uh, and so he basically says, to watch out, Frankie Kazarian, watch out, NXT guys that ruined everything, and there you go. So that's your opener. Mike Santana sitting in a folding chair, cutting a promo. What did you think of this?
I'll say, at least for the promo itself and Santana's performance of it, dude did his best to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. Like, he busted his ass getting this thing over. At the very least, he salvaged it and kept it alive. Okay, this thing has hope. It's got a pulse, but ain't much of one.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. He busted his ass by not over, he's he didn't just like yell and scream a promo. He was calm, measured, just conversational. So he didn't really do a wrestling promo, not really.
Right. He didn't start getting angry until he started talking about what he wanted to do to the people who took the title from him, or who he holds responsible for losing the title.
Yeah. And he wasn't just shouting either. He just sounded upset.
Turn the volume up just enough.
Just enough. And now Frankie Kazarian, on the other hand, wants a written apology from Santino and Carlos for him getting jumped by the NXT guys, and how they had probably suspected him of having something to do with it.
However, there's two separate storylines where the precedence is the guy who's behind it is attacked by them as a red herring, and they explain it later on.
That's TNA history.
Yep. Yeah, Bully Ray's the first one that comes to mind. Like, they actually did the whole thing where they had him have a column busted over his head.
Mm-hmm. Take one for the team. You think they're gonna do that with Frankie Kazarian?
I mean, it's happened before.
I'm gonna guess they're not gonna do that. And I'll tell you why. Maybe should I tell you why now, or should I tell you why later?
I'm not saying that is what's happening. I'm just saying that's still a possibility because we've seen them go to that playbook before.
Right. Well, I'm just saying that I think if I can get into their simplistic mind that where they think they're smart, I think I see where they're going with it. Maybe I'll bring it up a little later. So JDC comes into this and they have an exchange, and he wants a shot. He ends up wanting a shot at Frankie Kazarian's championship. And Santino says, well, he can have one if he can beat Eric Young tonight. Winner will get a title shot. So there's your setup. Then we have a 4-way match between some ladies, and these ladies are they're going to have 2 4-way matches, and the 2 winners of these 2 4-way matches will face each other to be the number 1 contender to the Knockouts title, if I have that right.
That is correct.
Just keep your shirt on. Myla Grace versus Danny Luna versus Rosemary versus Indy Hartwell. Well, we asked about where these new women were from England, or not England, but the UK in general, wherever they're from, Ireland, some shit. Here they are.
One's Irish, I think one's Irish, one's Scottish.
Right. So one of them here in this match. They're back in Pog form. We could do Simpsons quotes all night.
Millhouse,
Any
give him his soul back. I need to get up to work tomorrow.
yeah, maybe you can say that with Rosemary. Oh, Rosemary, give his soul back. Trying to think. Well, Danny Luna knocked Indy Hartwell's soul out with a chain wrapped around her fist to pick up the win in this match. So it's gonna be Danny Luna going on. Any any other commentary for this?
They dropped the ball with Rosemary. How was she left out of the Knockouts title picture when that whole stuff with when they had to basically remove what's her nuts, Masha, and then everything went down with Ash. Like, Rosemary's the perfect person to kind of put the strap on and be like, okay, we know you, we can trust you. You kind of carry the division. We need you right now.
I'm gonna say that they must have some kind of. She must have some kind of heat.
She has to.
How, I don't know, but I mean, even going back, like with the management, thinking about how her NXT appearances were handled.
Pretty much squashed.
Yeah. So somebody's not impressed, and I think that's, if I had to guess, that's what we're seeing here.
Probably some WWE pressure going down on TNA.
Yeah, I would think. Even if nothing's explicitly stated, if the heat is known, then they're not gonna do anything to put Rosemary in that position. Or who knows? I don't know. Maybe Rosemary's not interested in any extra spotlight, but I don't know. I don't know what she's like really, so I can't say. But in any way, this was, they're clearly trying to do something with Danny Luna, who, oh yeah, used to be in NXT UK. Sure. So Gia catches Eric Young ordering some masked men to I don't know, paper the town, I guess. Go hand out flyers. It's too late. The show's already going on, Eric. You're taping it. I found out here after this that they showed like a little short, I don't know what you would call it, short video package that was voiced over. It was showing like Full Sail, because they're at Full Sail University for this. So they're showing how, like, hey, if you're a student at Full Sail, you can produce this TNA show.
You know who's a teacher at Full Sail right now, right? Or last I checked.
Who's that?
Ed Ferrara.
Oh yeah, I had heard that. I wonder if he's just like staying far away from this too. Like,
I would imagine so. Like, last I heard, he's like, yeah, I'm done with the business. I want nothing to do with it. Like, legit, last I heard, basically his life is go to work, go home, smoke weed, and play video games.
sounds amazing. So the Morellas are hatching a plan to bait NXT into coming back. So I guess, I don't know, they can catch them in a bear trap. I don't know what they're planning to do, since these guys just came in and kicked everybody's ass and nobody went out to really do anything about it. Security was ineffective. The other wrestlers didn't show up. Only the wrestlers that were there to get beat up by them showed up. So apparently they have some kind of plan, and the Hardys and Burt Macklin want in on the plan. So I guess they're in on the plan now, whatever this plan is that didn't end up manifesting on this show. So this is what I was saying. My thought process of their thought process is, it's gonna be Santino's daughter that turns on him like she was the leak because her fucking boyfriend or fiance is in the other group. I
And
don't
he's
think
wrestling.
they can think any more complicated than that.
And plus, at Final Resolution, he's wrestling for. I think he's wrestling Macklin for his belt.
Yeah, so kind of think that's where they're going. I'm going to turn on my own dad.
I hate you, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Sure. This whole thing sucks, but that's probably what they're going to do. Speaking of sucks, so Matt Cardona. You may know him as Zack Ryder, like as recently as last week. Versus Mance Warner, who you may know as Mance Warner. They even showed the footage from the episode of SmackDown where, as Matt Cardona's coming out, they have in the little picture window the thing of him returning on SmackDown, but it says Zack Ryder prominently on the Tron, which is, like, you definitely could have left that out. You could have just showed clips of the match, but I just think that's funny. And yeah, he just goes back to being Matt Cardona here. And with a distraction from Steph DeLander, his former partner in crime on the Indies, Mance uses her purse as a weapon, which I assume it's loaded with something. It's just the size of about one brick. The purse it's a small little handbag. So he uses that to get the win. And Matt Cardona does a job. So for all those people making the jokes about, him and his indie price going down because he did a job on SmackDown, and he could say, oh, that was Zack Ryder that did the job. Matt Cardona's still over. Well, no, he ain't. Your thoughts?
Went from jobbing in LA Knight to jobbing in Mance Warner.
He's a Southern psychopath with a purse.
I don't know you. That's my purse.
Yeah, I don't really know what I guess. I don't know why this match even happened.
No idea. I guess they're trying to give Mance Warner a little bit of a push. I don't know.
Does Zack Ryder have heat? I mean, we know he does. We know he has heat. We know everybody hates him. But, like, is that also why he's losing here? Pretty sure it is. I mean, I only ever hear people praise Matt, But I also know what people really think of him. I know what people say when they want to sound like they're smart. They want to say, like, everybody says the same thing. This guy got himself over, and and he went on the indies and made something of himself, and all of that stuff is true. But you're just stating stuff that happened. Even the thing about getting himself over is just an opinion. But everybody else is like, a lot of people find him probably insufferable, like in person, like in real life, He's kind of like just a giant man baby, And I don't know him personally, but I don't have a problem with him either. I think he's perfectly cromulent as a professional wrestler. But you know how people in wrestling are, Brandon. A lot of them are just like extra grizzled and like, don't they don't have time they're over it basically. They're over a guy like him, I guess. That's why would never go with him. Yeah. So I assume that stuff is still going on. Like, yeah, we want you on the show, but please put over this guy. Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah, some things. Yeah, there's just some things that'll never. They're inherent to the business. They'll never go away, no matter who's in charge.
Yeah. Yeah. But we have a bright spot. Actually, not really. It's the gimmick injury report, which normally we have such a good time with. But this time, we don't have even 3 injuries to talk about. They just cut it right at 2 injuries, which you couldn't have even made up one or said that somebody doesn't have an injury. Like they like to say no injuries cleared so many times. I would just assume you could just take any wrestler if you didn't have 3 injuries to talk about and just throw a third one in there. They didn't do that. They
Bruising
did.
cleared.
Yeah. What they did was feelings hurt, cleared. Just something, you know? They you know, anyway, the gimmick injury report, Santana apparently suffered a torn UCL. I'm trying to think. What does UCL stand for again? Uh, Something collateral ligament. But Bioflex isn't paying for 3 injuries. Yeah. Oh, they just lost. They lost some of their sponsorship money. Damn it. Well, yeah, he has a. He has a. What is it? What is a UCL? He has a torn UCL, but he's cleared. He's cleared for competition. Now, why did you say that? Why did you say he had an injury and that it's cleared when he's not even going to be wrestling on the show? Ulnar collateral ligament. Yeah, ulnar. So it's the
It's the gimmick. It's the gimmick injury from the attack the week before.
yes. The ulna is the other wrist bone. Your wrist is comprised of 2 bones, and the radius and the ulna, and I guess a ligament on his ulna or something. Yes. So anyway, yeah, he tore it, but he's cleared. So why not just say he's out or day to day or whatever? Like, can't you just say something? Why do you say he's cleared of that? He couldn't have been cleared timeline wise. There's just no way.
Oh yeah, and also I was looking up even more. That's the Tommy John surgery.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, for severe tears.
Yeah. Yeah, if you tear it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need surgery, but it with like a like you said, a severe tear, it can be. It takes a long time. I like I don't know what I did, but I definitely like a couple of years ago popped a ligament like or something. Like I was lifting something and I shouldn't have been doing it. It was too heavy. I shouldn't have lifted it, but I did it. And I heard and I felt a pop in my left bicep. And my arm was weak for months. Like I didn't have the lifting strength in my arm. And I've gotten most of it back, but I could still feel it 2 years later. Like I could still feel at times like it's not fully healed. So I tore something. So it's probably like a similar injury. And yeah, I definitely would have been cleared to wrestle 2 weeks after that happened. So phony bullshit gimmick.
Yeah, it also says here that the grade one is a mild sprain with stretched but not torn, or the ligament is stretched but not torn.
Yeah. That must have been what I had. Something like that. Now, Elijah, on the other hand, he has a torn tricep still. He's out, and we know that. They also showed the guitar getting busted over him again. So I still say they should have added bruising. Torn triceps, comma, bruising. I know they don't have that much space for the graphics, but would have been nice. And that's it. Your 2 injuries on this gimmick report. Nothing about Indy Hartwell getting punched in the face with a chain just a few minutes ago. It would have been nice to, have a little smashed face, uncertain, those type of, just something. Anything to have a third thing. Robert Stone's group cuts a promo. I don't know, they film this and send it in themselves and ask TNA to play it. They definitely didn't hype that up if they did.
Nope.
They didn't do the thing where Tom says we've got this footage, stuff like they did in the old days, like in WCW.
No, just all of a sudden cut to that and started playing.
Awesome. Well, Matt Cardona's, he's back here. He's doing a sort of a promo. He's talking about how he thought he knew Steph DeLander and Vance Warner and how they're cool. He thought they were cool. I guess they're not cool, but don't forget that he's always ready and he's the deathmatch king.
I'm wondering, is this setting up something? Or are they setting up a death? Oh, wait, the street fight. Never mind. We get to that later.
I guess we get to that later. Right now, we get John Skyler versus Myron Reed. This is definitely the before and after picture of abs, whichever way you're going. While they're having the match, the outside camera, or a camera outside, catches Agent Zero and Tasha Steele stepping over Trey Miguel's, lifeless body on the pavement. I don't know. I don't want to say he's lifeless, but it wasn't moving. He may have had some life. And then Myron Reed goes for a sunset flip, and Jason Hotch runs down and grabs. I don't know how he was able to reach in and pull his fat partner over on the sunset flip without tearing his UCL. But he did it, and another win for the Great Hands over Myron Reed here. What do you think?
If I didn't know better, I would think they're getting set up to beat the Hardys for the belts.
But you do know better, right? Please tell me you know better. Please tell me you have inside information.
I'm hoping that's not what's going to happen, but knowing them, I think that is what's going to happen.
Wow. Can you imagine that? John Skyler won't even be able to wear the belt. Well, he'll definitely have to carry it.
Unless they drop him in the mud at Final Resolution.
Hopefully. That's a much better choice. Actually, no, it isn't. Well, actually, yes. It's better than the... AJ Francis is going to have a chat with Rich Swann about his sportsmanship. We don't like that. We don't like sportsmanship. And then Leon Slater walks up. And then he gets in AJ's face, and then he says he's going to go get Santino to make a match. This all takes place in front of a random ATM, by the way.
Money, money, money.
That's right. Yeah, this is all right. I mean, I guess, I don't mind it. They want to Rich Swann have a crisis of conscience, something, I guess. I don't know. He's in there keeping the peace.
Yeah, it seems like they're teasing the face turn with him.
All right. Now, I don't have anything else to say about this, so feel free to take as much time as you want with the Mr. Elegance search contestants.
Honestly, I completely blanked out on this. I legit blanked this out. Like, it's all I remember is some sort of dating game knockoff, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could recap some of it, but I don't want to dignify it by giving it coverage. Everything that the Elegance gimmick, everything they've done has been the worst thing I've ever seen on TNA. And maybe that includes Russell House, that may include um the IPWF or whatever thing that they do. Like absolutely just atrocious that anybody actually spent time on this, like wrote it down, storyboarded it, worked it out, blocked it, filmed it. They messed up, had to do something again. Like the idea that the time and money, the EY stabbing, yeah.
How about the Dub Cup?
I I I wasn't covering TNA when that happened.
I'll go back and watch. It's only like 2 matches, but oh my fuck.
I mean, a match is a match. This is, I don't know what this is. Like, why am I watching a knockoff dating game? Like, I don't need to see this. It's not funny. It's still not as bad as the cardboard thing they did that time, but really bad. PC Owenstein. PC Owenstein. Brandon, don't tell me you haven't seen Young Frankenstein.
Long time ago, but as soon as you did the Frankenstein, that clicked.
Yeah. Put the candle back. Second four-way match: Victoria Crawford versus Jody Threat versus Killa Kelly versus Zaya Brookside. Hey, I remember Killer Kelly. Anyway, Zaya Brookside pins Kelly with a bridging clutch thing that she got from Zack Sabre Jr., who got it from probably, I don't know, Zaya Brookside's dad or something. What? So we have 2 former NXT UK talents getting ready to face off for the #1 contendership to the Knockouts champion, who is an NXT talent, who has less ring time than both of them, than either of them. That's your Knockouts division. Remember when the Knockouts division used to be like the pioneering thing in women's wrestling?
Remember when it was like Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, The Beautiful People, ODP, Cheerleader Melissa, or Alyssa Flash?
No, I don't remember anymore.
Roxy, Taylor Wilde.
Sorry, don't remember.
They even had Jacqueline in there at one point.
Jacqueline, yeah, doesn't ring a bell. I think none of that happened. That was all just a fever dream. I think now is the best it's ever been. This is the best Knockouts division we've ever had. We got people like, you know, I was surprised. Honestly. I know it would have been like the lamest, most obvious thing ever, but I was kind of surprised. Like, well, why not Jody Threat, since you seem to keep doing this thing between the former tag team partners? I mean, I know we don't need to see that, and I know we more or less settled it, but not really. And I just think with their laziness, I was surprised that they just didn't have Jody Threat win. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was at least they threw that kind of little bit of that curveball in there.
but Jody Threat has one important difference. She was never under contract to NXT UK, so she cannot. Or in NXT North America.
And I just thought of something too. So at Gold Rush tomorrow night, it's a 3-way for the Knockouts title. Kalani defending against Jordan Grace and Lei Ying Lee. What if they end up going with the direction of Lei Ying Lee going over for the title, and that pits tag team partners against each other at Final Resolution?
Ooh, that's an interesting idea. So they definitely won't do that. I think Kalani Jordan's going to retire undefeated. That's what I think. But we'll see. And we'll see somebody else that, to my knowledge, not had an NXT UK contract, and that's Jada Stone. So Jada Stone has a profile. And this is very similar to Mila Moore's profile that they had on, I guess, the last episode. So now things make a little more sense because this is the person that Mila Moore beat in that tryout match or whatever, and Mila Moore was upset because Jada Stone got signed and she didn't, even though she won the match. So here's the other half of that story now. So Jada Stone is telling her story, how she got here, and this is sort of like the missing piece of the puzzle to that. I don't care, but I will say this. My not caring has nothing to do with the lack of effort on this part. It's just knowing that they're not going to make anything out of this. But what I liked was that this has the uniqueness, or it's that thing that I'm always looking for. It's like, how can you do something that somehow you haven't done before, but it's also very fundamental and classic? Like you're taking people that you're almost like setting up a feud with a different, like you have a different approach. Like you're telling this history of something that we never saw before. You're showing it to us like we should have known it, because they show footage, like, hey, don't you remember when this happened? And I'm like, well, of course not. I have no idea when this happened or what you're talking about. But they're showing you this and they're telling you one person's side of the story. Then they're telling you the other person's side of the story. So now it gives context to both these people that they wouldn't have had if they just showed up one day. So I like that they did that. I don't know what they're going to do to follow it up, but I would be intrigued if I just wasn't so sure that nothing was going to come of it.
I remember when they did this, what was it? Mila Grace and the two UK chicks. And then they did nothing with them after that. And they had that really good intro to character. And then they just did nothing afterwards.
Yeah. Not really, nothing. Pretty much. And even that was like, I know we had a different viewpoint on it because I thought it was phony, the whole idea of like, because they tried to do an angle in the middle of their profile package. And my argument was like, well, if you were filming something for somebody and this happened, you wouldn't just air it like that.
Right.
You could have edited it, and then you could have shown the behind the scenes footage later, like, and been like, this is also what happened,
and this is why we're having this match.
Right. But instead they just left it. I know we were trying to get everybody to get to know you and everything, but fuck it. So yeah. Anyway, interesting, except not really. So we'll see where the Jada Stone and Mila Moore rivalry goes next. Eric Young and JDC are walking. Santino confirms some matches for Final Resolution. I didn't write any of them down, but we're already talking about our next thing, and we just had Turning Point. So typical TNA. But yeah. So I think it's weird. When is Final Resolution?
I believe that is December 5th, I want to say.
December 5th.
Yep, and then they're taping Impact on the 6th and the 7th, which will be leading into Genesis.
Which is January something?
Yes, I believe early January. Either the first or second week. Or second weekend.
You sure they don't need to take some time off for Christmas, New Year's, Groundhog Day,
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day? Yeah, just do that all in the beginning of January, just preemptively. Yeah. So, yeah, we don't even need to talk about the matches because they'll be here before you know it. They'll be here by the time we finish reading out the matches. So, get ready for it. All right, Frankie Kazarian's on commentary for Eric Young versus JDC. Eric Young versus JDC happens, and JDC hits his top rope leg drop for the win, and he's going to challenge Frankie Kazarian for his TNA championship. Can JDC do it and retire on top?
No, I would have to think this is more of like a thank you. It's like, hey, it's like a little, hey, thanks. We're going to be a world title shot on your way out, just as a thank you.
Like he's some kind of a mark that appreciates getting a title shot. Well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why they've made Ray champion for like an hour.
Ray or Mike Santana?
No, I mean, like Rey Mysterio, like, what was it? Like right after they did the angle with Punk walking out with the belt, they did a tournament to crown a new champion. And then Ray ended up winning it. And then he dropped it to Cena right like later that night.
Yeah.
Which also happened to be on the date of, I think it was like his 9th anniversary of the company. So I guess, again, just putting the pieces together, I see that being like, hey, thanks for 9 years of busting your ass. Here's a world title run, even though it's only an hour.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he fell down. He's now at Goldberg level. For those of you listening, Labrat and Liz are saying that Brock Lesnar fell down during his entrance. I got to go back and watch that pretty soon before they scrub it. They're going to edit that shit out, so I got to see it while it's still there. Or maybe somebody on Twitter will get it too.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely getting clipped and pat. Yeah, it's definitely going around Twitter. There's no way that's getting scrubbed. Like, that's getting clipped and passed around.
And it's funny that he ate shit because word on the street is that he's a piss guy, my man.
He likes his showers golden, pal. Allegedly.
That's right. Well, we ain't going to get any higher than that, so we better take it home. Brandon, where can the people find you?
As always, you can catch me on Twitter, as the kids call it these days, the X, at LG Brandon Whoop. I'm also on Twitch at twitch.tv/LG Brandon Whoop Whoop. Our schedule for this week, since the A show is a pre-recorded one, I checked the time on it. It is kind of a short one, so we'll be able to do a full NXT watch along, which happens to be on Gold Rush. So that's going to be, that should be a good show. And then Wednesday, we got the AEW Dynamite watch along and belt count. And then Thursday, we're going to be doing I think we'll do a replay watch along, just so everybody's got time to spend time with their families, come back later in the evening, do a replay watch along of JCW Lunacy. And then Friday, we got the SmackDown watch along and belt count. And then Saturday, a Survivor Series. And then
Teams of 5 strive to survive.
Whoop whoop. Oh. And then Sunday, I think we're gonna do HMG After Dark. Gonna finish off season 9 of Trailer Park Boys and season 4 of Shoresy. And I watched a new movie I hadn't seen before either last night, American History X.
Oh, you never seen that, huh?
Nope.
Let's just say I knew a lot of people that watched that movie that really did not get the message. They like the movie for different reasons, I think.
Oof. Yeah, I totally got the message. Like just watching Ed Norton's character develop throughout that entire movie, like that is the message of the movie.
Yeah. Well, in any case, so Raw watch along finish up pretty soon here. And for me, you can find me everywhere at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. So check me out there. Check me out on the Next Level Wrestling Reviewer, Big Ray Hernandez, every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern. Talk about NXT, and we'll have to talk about Gold Rush Night 2. It's a WrestleMania level event, pal. Not even 2 nights in a row, 2 weeks in a row. That's how big NXT is. Check me out every Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for Directage with Jimmy T and the Professor Chabela Vera Cruz, where we talk about AEW, and they were kindly enough to break down Full Gear because I wasn't able to see Full Gear before we went to I went to work. So there you go. There's that. Check out Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday. Check out Stevie Richards Show every Friday. Check out Limpin' Ain't Easy whenever he puts out an episode, Wednesday usually or sometimes. And that's going to just about do it for us. So head on over to finish watching Raw. For Brandon, I'm the vet, and I don't have a sign off on it.